There's one right there. They're everywhere,
Yeah.
actually. There's real ones everywhere.
All right. We're live.
All right.
All right.
Do you see us on there yet?
I don't, but I'm seeing that it is streaming. That's what it's saying. I'm getting like a little thing on the side of the.
All right. Now I'm seeing us in the old Facebooks.
All right.
All right. So we'll give it a little bit of time to warm up and see if anybody comes on. I'm trying to see. Oh, we've got one viewer. That's probably me. I'm watching myself at the moment. So we're going to give it just a little bit more time. But if not, it'll still be there for the recording. So I will go ahead and kick us off because I got things to do while y'all are playing around.
That's right. No, but then you can go away and.
I see what you did there.
That's right.
Greg, you look like you have you're leaning in like you have something to say. Oh, Susan's on. So.
Last time, I don't know if you did, Bram. I didn't have Facebook open.
Okay.
I know people comment the whole time we're videoing. Should we have Facebook open?
You know what? That's a great idea. I have Facebook open, but I gotta just set it up so that I can see the screen as well.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit of a delay. Susan's on. Hello, Susan. Good to see you on the interwebs.
We like Susan.
All right. So I'm going to set the context for this show. This is I have affectionately named these guys the BG Boys, Bram and Greg. And you're gonna have to turn down your volume there, Bram, whoever that was. And
the BG.
Yeah, see,
that's Greg. Guilt is charged.
All right, Greg, I'm gonna have to kick you out. So we're doing member hot seats. This is a member-led event. I'm just here hosting through our Zoom account here at capitalism.com. So I am the doer of things at capitalism.com, Sean McCool, and I'll be your temporary host until Bram and Greg take over. But just wanted to say hello. I see Amanda just jumped on, and they are going to hot seat. Tell us your name. My guest is
Andrew Love.
Okay, because Andrew Love, your name says Benji Uyama on your thing.
Yeah,
so.
I'm gonna change it. That's my friend.
So yeah, Andrew Love is going to be in the hot seat, the blue chair, if you've seen the pictures in the group. And he'll be under the microscope with Bram and Greg. So guys, I'm going to turn it over to you right now. Enjoy. I'm going to disappear.
Thanks, Doctor.
Yeah, that's what you always say, Sean, but thank you for the introduction. Hey, Andrew, good to see you, man.
Hey.
Second episode of the what's he call it? What's Sean calling it now? The BG hot seat? I don't like that at all. I think it's
the BG Boys hot seat for Bram and Greg.
It's wrong.
Yeah.
I thought you'd gone away.
Enjoy it. I know. Right. I'm always listening.
But the intention is there in the sense that the thing we do here is try and sort of figure out where one of the people in the 1% is at and what we can do in order to sort of help out with that. It's been a weird 2 weeks. I mean, if 2 weeks ago was weird, it's 10 times as weird right now, right? Andrew, you're in Bali, which is it's like 5 a.m. now.
Yes, sir. 5:05.
And you're a stand-up comic, and you travel the world with your family.
No, I did comedy for like a decade, but now I work for a non-profit, and I can work from my computer, and so we travel a lot anyway. But definitely, we were given like jump through this window right now and go back to America, which is falling apart, or stay on this idyllic island where there are no problem. We're up in the north where there's like nothing going on in the jungle. So we decided to stay here during this pandemic and wait out everything. And I think it was a good call.
Yeah.
The only issue here is Wi-Fi isn't perfect, but I'll deal with that.
You're roughing it as I hear it. I mean, talking to my friends in New York City, I think you made a really good call because they're going nuts.
It was weird, and all the embassies were freaking out, being get back here, and because I'm also Canadian, but we live in America, and Canada's like get back, and America's like get back, and I was looking, just comparing apples to apples, and like I don't like your offer, it's not so good. This one's pretty good, being away from everybody in the jungle beach right there. I think I'll take that. Thanks. You know.
So how do you, I mean, so you work for an NGO and then you're using that to travel, and are you running like a side hustle along with the NGO work? What are you trying to do?
Yeah, I mean, the NGO fills up my heart, but not my bank account, and it really lives up, like nonprofit really lives up to its name, right? So I like, you know, I have three little boys. We travel with them, and like over here, we're pretty wealthy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in America, we're pretty poor, like by normal people standards. So when we travel, we actually save up, and that's how I can kind of function at this point. But I've been trying to, you know, I don't know. I love the idea of religion and nonprofits and all that. If it kind of separates from money a little bit more, because then there's no weird agenda or incentives or problems. I'd love to be financially independent and just give my time for free, right? Rather than, you know, I don't expect a raise, but I need a raise. So I just like to give myself a raise, which is why I've started multiple things, you know, but this one, I'm trying to get better at doing things that I actually care about, and also make it a physical product somehow, you know, because my training is comedy. Like I did that forever. I loved it so much, but I could never make money off of it. I was really bad at the marketing side of it. I was good at being in front of people and doing what I needed to do, make them feel the way I wanted them to feel. But to get money there was difficult. And so that's kind of my skill set. And when you take all these online courses, it's not like, hey, here's how to package your comedic talent. It's like, here, how to make money off Amazon or this or that. So I tried many things just to kind of make extra money, but they all felt so inauthentic and weird. And Ryan was the first person that I started following a few years ago, maybe like 5 years ago now. And finally, when he got into his groove with capitalism and all that, capitalism.com and all that, his offer just seemed so kind of pure-hearted and great. And I just jumped in because I love the idea of creating a brand around a theme, but something that's tangible. I just didn't want to go into the intangible space.
So what do you mean with that? Something that, I mean, what I'm hearing you say is, I love doing the NGO work, but it doesn't pay my bills. As long as I'm in Bali, I'm fine. But and then I can save. But if I ever want to go back to the Western world, then whatever I'm doing now isn't working out. And then I hear you say, and I heard you say, I like the balance between being able to have money and not confuse that with religion, which I'm going to assume that means doing stuff that sort of speaks to your heart. Sure. I'm trying to disconnect the two. But so what's not working, or what are you trying to figure out?
Yeah, so with the business, I mean, I started that was all context. Sorry, it sounded like a rant, but it's context to be like, how do I create a business that's really sincerely from the heart, but also has a tangible product? And so, you know, with the $1 Million Brand Course, I racked my brain and I found out that, you know, we created a journal. I have a business partner who's in France, and we work together to create a journal that helps people track typically esoteric, like, you know, hard to define things like your mind, your heart, your spirit, and your body, like how to connect them all and have this synergy, and how to measure where you're at any given time and make progress in those areas. Because for most people, it's like the most important thing is either what's going on in here, what's going on in here, but it's just a random feeling, right? So it's like, okay, we can make a product out of that, which is a physical thing. And then, and we did a Kickstarter, we got money. That was all in the fall. I started this when I was in Mongolia. We travel a lot. So I was in Mongolia when I started it, and then kind of traveling in Korea. And then in America, we had the Kickstarter, Canada. And then we raised the money, put in the order, got it just before our shipment came in, just before all this crazy stuff started going down with the virus, right? Because it came from China. So it was shipped, and now it's there, and we're starting to sell a few. But now I'm running into the problem that, you know, in a business, you need somebody who knows stuff about business. And that, I mean, by default is me because I'm just driving this thing forward. I partnered with a life coach to help with all the kind of self-helpy stuff because that's not me, right? So basically, we have a physical product which I really like, but I'm doing all the business stuff which I don't like, and I've created this whole thing for myself. I like created a job description.
Oh, okay, so that's what you did. You just made. So this is what I'm hearing. You got someone to create content for you, which probably spoke to something that you sort of connect to, right? Making like this journal, connecting. How do you connect mind to heart to intention, that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then he turned you into the COO. And you're
no, he's just
operations.
We're both fathers of three. He's got a lot going on over there. He's like a professional life coach and all that over there. So it's both of our side hustles. So just by default, he has enough bandwidth to work on kind of the internal stuff, and I work on all of the business stuff because somebody has to, right?
Right.
But what the dynamic has become is that I'm not doing the stuff that I'm really good at. I'm doing the stuff that I have to do because a business needs to run, right? And so I've essentially created a not so great job for myself with the intention of getting to some sort of point where I wouldn't have to do that. But I also don't like, I created the company. Here's a good framework for like a very clear problem is that I created the company specifically with the intention of one day becoming sellable, because that's really the intent of the $1 Million Brand. I mean, one of the premises, right? And I kind of created a company that, like, I don't buy journals. My friend does. That's why I kind of brought him into it. And it's like a whole world that I can appreciate, but I'm not a part of. So I'm kind of like the outsider looking in, helping this world exist, but it's not me. And so now I'm thinking, oh crap, do I need to do something that I actually like work on this as a kind of like a job, just to start making more money, and then create a brand around something that I'm actually really passionate about? Or should I just really find success in this? And I enjoy the process. I don't hate it, but it's just not my core skill set. Does that make sense? So I've already created this thing. We're already like 10 months in, probably 12,000 in, just developing everything and making everything. And I don't want to just flush it down the toilet because I care about it. And it can help a lot of people, but it's not what I'm good at. Do I try to make it work for me and insert myself in ways
would you, if you were able, so at the moment you're sort of on the back end doing operations and you don't feel like connected to it?
Yeah, nor do I. I mean, it's like,
so what's stopping you from inserting yourself?
Because that's my remaining bandwidth is usually like I have to deal with all the business stuff, right? So, and that takes extra bandwidth for me because I'm not, like, I hear Ryan speak, and about business numbers and stocks and stuff like that, and I want to have a little siesta after he talks. Mm-hmm. My groove is just like creation. I can create a lot of stuff, but I don't have time for that because I'm too busy in the back end business. Because if that doesn't happen, it just there's no point. Because
Andrew, what are some of the tasks that you are doing in the back end that you feel kind of stuck doing, like they have to be done? What are they specifically?
Like anything to do with accounting or fulfillment. We have because I'm traveling and he's in Paris, so we have a fulfillment center in Utah. So working with them. Anything to do with the website, is on me. Anything to do with money, basically. and now marketing too. Really working on marketing, trying to kind of really hone in our message. We have a very general message and we're bringing it back in, so it's like more razor sharp. And all this is happening just because I kind of drive it forward, and that's just how it's kind of panned out. And he warned me of that from the beginning, my business partner, because he's super busy. He's like, I can do this, but here's my window of like, available energy to work on this project. Mm-hmm. And I felt like his involvement has been essential. I always am kind of like, can you work more? Can you work? And you just can't. And so I don't regret bringing him into this because it actually made it's like a super accountability, because he's like my business, and we've gone in, financially together. So that's also more accountability. But the process has just become, I've created a job that I wouldn't apply for myself.
Mhm.
You know? Nor would I get hired for, by the way. Like if I applied for this job.
What
it'd
would
like,
it be
no,
worth to you to get rid of the accounting piece and the fulfillment piece?
Yeah, I guess it would be worth a decent amount of money if I could find what that role is specifically.
Mhm.
You know, like I guess you guys call it a COO, something like that. But
I can tell you that
operations.
I am personally terrible at hiring. I'm terrible at outsourcing. This is something that I need to work on a lot myself. But I really, really hate accounting, and so I have outsourced my accounting, and it's really cheap to do that. If you go with a good, overseas accountant who can still do everything you need, the fulfillment piece is also honestly very, very cheap to outsource. So if I were you, I would consider what it would take to just get those off your plate as soon as possible. Monetarily, it's going to be pretty easy to do. So if you guys are running a profitable business, I would suggest that number one, everything that you don't like doing that needs to be done, see what it would take to get someone else to do it for you. And then you just need to do what you enjoy doing and what you feel like your value is in this partnership. So.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. I agree. And that, well, would you be able, do you have the time to kind of go over what that might be? Because I did bring this up in a group before, which is like, okay, this is my skill set. I love being on the stage. I love interacting like this. It's what I love. And that's my flow state. I just naturally just slip right in there like a perfect fitting shoe. But I don't necessarily know how that how that fits in, because it's kind of like typically a serious, like the personal development space. And I don't want to like make jokes be the distraction and then be like, oh, and then buy this thing, and I haven't found a really good way to like make my skill set work for the business. You know what I mean? Rather than just be some fancy shiny pony over here, and then I just try to bang people over the head with a sale at the end, which is like a non sequitur.
Sure.
Do you
No,
use the journal?
Pardon me?
Do you use the journal?
I do not. No.
So start using the journal,
Okay.
and then you know what it's like to use it, and then you can tell people about it. When you can tell people about the stupid shit you do with the journal, or anything else that happens. But it's like, of course it feels fake because you haven't used it. You have no idea. I mean, anything you'd say about it right now would be fake because it would be based on zero experience. So have some experience with the product.
Sure. Okay. I hate these things because the answers are so simple and so damn true.
No, but that's always so don't feel bad, because that's always true. Every single thing that I learned from other people is obvious as the light of day to everybody else except for me. So
Sure.
that we're all like that. That's not you. That's not your particular failing. It's all our failings. It's part of being a human being.
Got it.
Andrew, would you say that you feel like comedy is a big part of your identity and personality, even though you're not actively doing that right now, or not so much?
It was. I mean, it was what I lived and breathed for a decade, but it was also, I didn't fit in that world. I didn't want to. It was a really highly dysfunctional world, which is why like I did a complete 180 and just like left cold turkey. I just left everybody and everything and just got into, like, I became just getting into serving mode, because usually comedy and art can be about other people, but it's usually about the artist and them
Right.
fulfilling some egoic needs. So I was a lot happier when I was just making people laugh in a volunteer position or whatever, right? But I'm starting to get that calling that like, oh, I need to go back and make it about other people, because there's a lot of people who don't feel special right now. And I would love to help them feel loved and feel special. And I feel like I could do that through comedy. But
Okay. Do you follow JP Sears at all?
Yeah, I do, and I know he's Ryan's buddy. Yeah, he's done amazing stuff. Yeah, I'd love to do something like that.
It seems like he's been able to kind of integrate a comedy aspect, but still doing like a legitimate self-help life coach business as well. And I mean, his brand is both combined. And obviously, you know, like you mentioned, that's a hard combination to pull off. But I think he's an example of how that could be done. And not that you need to be another JP Sears, but if you're,
Sure.
you know, I only mention that because I'm wondering if sometimes when you're trying to figure out how to speak to your customers, if you kind of feel a tug to integrate some comedy into that, but don't feel like it's appropriate. So if there's any kind of conflict there, you know, it may be worth just kind of seeing what he does and how he does it. If you want that to be a part of your brand and your messaging, it can be done, even though it's difficult. But
yeah, no, I absolutely agree, and I commit to studying before all thy people. I will study him more because it is so interesting because he's so famous for being a jackass, but then he's like extremely serious, like his job is. So that transition is so weird. Like, how do you go from being a total dunce or like a doofus, kind of, you know, on purpose, intentionally, to being hyper serious? You're attracting people who want life help. So I definitely appreciate that dichotomy and how he's created some sort of impossible bridge from one land to another.
right.
Yeah. Thank you.
I think it's a matter of language. It's comedy is just one way of many of conveying meaning, and we shouldn't get stuck like in, okay, if it's comedy, it has to be this. It can't be serious, or it can't be deep, which we all know is very untrue, because some of the most serious and deep stuff that's ever been conveyed has been conveyed through comedy. But
Sure.
presenting a product through comedy or through, you know, a serious medium, you know, whether it's film or it's audio or you're writing or what have you, they're all just different ways of talking to people. And if you can get to sort of what's at the bottom of what's serving somebody with the products that you're selling, whatever way you do it, then that's going to connect, especially if that's something that you feel in your soul. Because I mean, the secret sauce to anything is authenticity. If you can, I mean, it doesn't matter what, if you can be excited about whatever it is that you're promoting, people will pick up on it. If you're faking it, people will pick up on it. And if you believe that it'll help somebody, then there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to convince somebody that they could get value out of it. But if you don't believe that, then there's no way you're going to do that.
Yeah. You got me. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. It simplifies things, and I think that's so much needed in the landscape, right, of the internet. Just clarity, simplicity. I like it.
But that's how we always get in our own ways. I mean, do you, because when we started talking, you sort of said, well, I have this business. I don't know if it sort of connects what I really want to do. The question is, do you think that if you imagine a next business, which you think is more connected, if you don't act differently, how is that going to feel more connected?
Yeah, that was like a quadruple negative, I think. But I get you. I get you. No, I get it. I like it. The thing is this, I'm just wondering how much I can squeeze into this business to make it feel like my home, and how much originally I was keeping it kind of at arm's length, because this is like, I know this is some people's stuff, and it's even my business partners. He loves journaling. He loves Mind Valley and all that stuff. And I appreciate all that. I'm not a part of that world, but I appreciate it, and I see its relevance. So I want to help them, right? And then I will sell the business and we'll do whatever. But instead, I think the only way that this will work like you're saying, is if I actually become an active participant, and maybe I could be even a convert to journaling, and that's my documented process. Because though I might not journal, I can see the value in it. So why the hell am I not journaling? Maybe it's just some character defect, right? So I think I can make it work to become a part of that world for the sake of them, right? Like making a friend that maybe you don't jive so well, but you see that they need a friend, right? Does that
I
make sense?
think you going through the process of being sort of journaling, too woo woo for me. I don't do that kind of stuff. I love the people that do, but it's just not me. And you going through the process of doing it and documenting what that means to you, whether at the end of that process you say, I still think it's bullshit, or you think, okay, now
Buy my book.
it's no, because even if you go through the process and you say, you know, it still doesn't work for me, the fact that you can say, I've now gone through this, it gives you all of these things. I don't need these things, that's why it doesn't work for me. But someone who does need those things will say, well, wait a minute, I saw him doing that and he got all those things that he said that I do need.
Yeah.
Whichever way you go, that's going to work. But it's like anything you do, and this is from my own experience, it's anything that I've ever done that I've tried to hold at arm's length has sucked really, really badly for me and for whatever I was doing.
I agree.
Perfect.
I agree.
Andrew, do you think there are other people out there who could benefit from this journal who are like, journaling, not for me?
Absolutely. I think you just, you got it.
Take those people along with you.
Okay.
Be totally transparent and honest about the process you're going through, and draw in the people that are on the same journey and take them with you and show them your experience and if it's helpful or not. And you know, those people need somebody to bring them into this, because they're not going to go out and get into journaling on their own. They need somebody to hold their hand and say, hey, let's see what this is all about. Let's check it out and see if this is helpful. So it's like a whole new market, and you are them. So you mentioned you don't feel like you're in this world right now, but your partner is, and that's okay. He can speak to the people that are already in this world, but you can gather up the people that are kind of looking at this world from the outside with you, seeing value in it, but saying, oh, I'm not really there. Like, that's not my thing, but I appreciate that it is their thing. And you can say, hey man, let's try it out. Guys, let's try this out. Let's go together and see if it helps us out. So
what I'm hearing you say, Greg, is that I am to become the journaling messiah for all of those sheep, the lost sheep out there. I will do it. I think that's actually a fantastic, something in me started kind of shaking and getting excited, because I think that's that's it. That's exactly it. I didn't like homework either, right? Maybe that's a bad example, because I never came around. But like, you know, working out or yoga, actually, like recently, I'm traveling and I'm getting that dad gut. So I was like, screw this. And I couldn't work out because it's kind of somewhat confined here. So I converted to yoga, because it's like you can work out really hard in a very defined space on a mat, right? So that kind of thing is really powerful, to the conversion process and explaining it as you're processing it, that you explain to others so that they can try things out. I love it. I think it's a fantastic idea, because that's absolutely authentic, because I'm essentially selling myself on my own product. And the more worthy that I see it being, the more that I can authentically, to use your word, not even sell it, just evangelize it. There's a giant mouse that just walked in my room. Sorry.
Gonna eat you?
I think it's around my feet. I'm gonna put my feet up.
All right.
I don't trust these jungle rats. Sorry.
But it's the same reason why there's so much advice out there to document the journey of building a business.
Well, that's Ryan's number one advice.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah.
The fact that you're a skeptic, I think, is actually is going to be really interesting, because you're going to be able to bring in the people that are already converted. All you need to tell them is why the journal's good. But there's a lot of journals out there. So why is this journal different than any other? As opposed to people that'll connect to your sort of just your journey of discovery where you go in, you're selling this product, you've never used it, and now you're going to go, this is what it feels like to start using it. And this is all the baggage I bring with me before I start using it, and just put it out there. And the more open you can be about that, the more powerful that'll be, I'm sure.
Yeah, I really like this a lot. You guys are great saints of the capitalistic community. This is like, I feel like I've been, I don't know, fighting with my sibling for a long time. It's been here, right? I've been building this business, but this is really helping to clarify how I can kind of fall in love with it again, you know? Because in the beginning, I really loved it, but now it's just become this kind of somewhat of a burden. And I can see that through this approach, I can learn how to fall in love with my own business and help other people fall in love with it as well, that's such a perfect model. Like, it's just so natural. It makes a lot of sense. And I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you.
I think I speak for Greg. We love doing this. The reason we're doing it is because we were part of the tribe a couple of months ago, and Ryan did this for us. And we came out of that feeling we'd gotten so much more than our money's worth, that we wanted to do this for even like sort of just figuring these things out together, because none of the things that we're trying to do are rocket science, but it's very, very difficult to figure out by ourselves. And by building a community here where we help each other out, there's so much power in sort of our combined experience, as opposed to us trying to do, each one of us trying to sort of reinvent the wheel all the time. It's not necessary. And we can't see the things that we can't see the same. We can't see the stories we're telling ourselves that don't make any sense. That's why we need someone else to look in from the outside.
Andrew, I guarantee you that 10 other people watching this are going to look at this and watch this and watch kind of the realization that you may have just had, and say, holy crap, this is me. Now I understand what I need to do. And that's part of the experience that Bram and I shared, is seeing other people have their problems kind of addressed and forcing them to deal with it and solve it in front of everybody else. Just it helps so many more people than just you or I or Bram. So we really do want to do this kind of as a give and as a gift for everybody else, and hoping that it's helpful to as many as possible.
Yeah, it's a very big gift, because I would say that, most people join capitalism on the premise of, the 1% community, on the premise that it was really like a group experience, and it kind of does, but there's clear limitations to a Facebook group. But I feel like this bridges that gap, where, because sometimes you're just going along your day, and then there's a post, and then you go, and then you read somebody's question, and it doesn't really pertain to you, but it's interesting. And it's kind of like you're part of the conversation, but you're not. But this is like, we're going through this together, because it's maddening to try this by yourself, like to do all this stuff by yourself online, So it's what you guys are providing is this necessary service, I feel, that kind of that helps us congeal a little bit more as a community, and get to know each other more, but also to help each other out more, because just meeting up, there's so much power in meeting up. But most of us are totally far apart from each other and can't.
But it's very easy to do that virtually, Andrew. It's the thing I think I've learned most in the last year is the power. One, the fact that most people are actually, the thing that they enjoy doing most is helping someone else, and all you need to do is ask. And people are waiting to be asked to help someone else. And there's close to 1,000 people in the 1%. And if you see someone that's doing something interesting, it's really easy just to reach out to them, DM them. You can have a conversation. I'm always sort of suggesting for people to have their DM messages out in the open so everybody can learn from it. But it takes a lot less effort, and it's a lot less difficult than you might imagine to make real lasting friendships.
Sure. Yeah. I needed to hear that. I'm a highly independent Man, so I gotta learn. It's like the biggest crutch. It's like I can do this on my own. I'm
I
just
can't.
dying,
Oh,
drowning.
you can't. Do you need help?
Yeah, it's stupid. And why would I? I mean, we're meant to be connected. So
Mhm.
anyway, I just want to really sincerely thank you guys because I think this is gonna start a lot of other stuff. You know, it's already started a lot of stuff in me. And,
Good.
Yeah.
So what's the next? What are you going to do next? When you?
Nothing. I'm
Okay,
not gonna
that's good.
figure-
Okay, that's fine. Greg, that's another victory for us. What do you? I want
No, I'm
something
gonna-
that we can keep you. What can
Accountable.
we help you with by keeping you accountable for it?
So what I'm gonna do is I don't have a physical copy of this journal but I do have a PDF, and there's no way of shipping anything to where I am right now, unless I could charter a rickshaw that can swim. But I have a digital format, right? And I can take, snapshots, but I will put it on YouTube long form so I can talk about the process and what the journal is. And I will go through it kind of piecemeal. I don't want to say page by page, but maybe section by section, little by little. And I will document all the revelations I'm having. So I would say, since journals are daily, I'll just make it daily. I can talk obviously, so I will shoot video a day until I'm done.
All right.
With
Put
the
links
intention
in the
of
1% so you can go see it.
Absolutely.
okay.
Yeah. No, you don't get to put it somewhere where nobody finds it, and it's just you and the mouse who gets to see the video.
Okay. That mouse, I hate that mouse. He's not watching my stuff.
Are you on first name terms with the mouse?
Yeah, Jerkface is his name. I promise. So I'll definitely do YouTube. The other stuff I will, I'm social media, whatever. So I'm definitely
Stop. I believed you on the YouTube, social media, anything. You're full of shit.
No. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like I'm not committing to that stuff. I commit to the YouTube. I believe in that. I don't believe in YouTube, the entity. I believe in the power of what it is. Right? So
start with that. Don't try and do everything in one go.
I like it. You got it. So I will do that, and I will send a link so that you guys can spam me and
we
critique
will.
me. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
All
This has
right.
been very clarifying. And I mean, the purpose of that is just to learn about my own products and go through a journey and document it. So thank you. The
Very
what
cool.
and the why are very clear.
Yeah. Thank you for waking up so early.
Thank you. I was so nervous that I wasn't going to wake up that I woke up 10 times throughout the night. And in fact, I didn't sleep at all. And then my son slapped me in the face at like 2 a.m. and that woke me up too. So
They do that.
he's
Sean, you
like
want to wrap up?
1.
Yeah, so appreciate you guys coming on. We're right at our time, and there was kind of a little bit of a lull, so I figured I'd jump back in. But I just wanted to ask Andrew real quick, what was your single biggest takeaway from your conversation with the BG Boys?
That the most powerful way to be a brand ambassador is to be a brand participant, like an enthusiastic brand participant, right? So that you should be consuming your own products because you love them so much and just naturally tell other people about it. That's the best way to go. I love it.
Cool. It's a great takeaway. And there's a lot of people that are frustrated because they're not doing that. So that's a great takeaway. Definitely makes everything easier if you actually enjoy what it is you're selling. So it makes a big difference in everything. Copy, waking up in the morning, like everything. So, well, guys, thank you. And for those of you listening, Bram and Greg are both, like they said, members of the tribe, a previous version. They're also current members of the tribe. If you're interested in learning more about the tribe and what we do over there, you can go to capitalism.com/learn-about-tribe, kind of all one word there, and learn more about what we do and what's available over there. So, guys, it's been fun. and I guess we'll be doing this in another couple weeks. If you've got people 2 weeks, so if somebody wants to get on the hot seat, contact or tag Bram or Greg, and they will take care of you. And the dog is about to go crazy. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up and say goodbye, and I'll hit the leave meeting button, and everybody will disappear. See y'all later.
Thank you guys so much.